Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. My name is Sheldon and today we're on the website of Ingles Hayday auctions based in the UK. We're going to have a look at their latest catalogue, which is kind of fine bowed stringed instruments and related stuff. So Ingles Hayday, one of the probably the most prestigious auction houses for this kind of stuff in the world, and they only have like 2 auctions a year or so it's quite exclusive. This particular auction is finishing on the 25th of March. It's the 21st today, so a few days left to go. There's going to be a viewing this weekend, which I'm going to go to, so hopefully I can have a look at some of this interesting stuff. The buyer's premium on this auction is 20%, so whatever the final hammer price is, you need to add 20% onto that. Bear in mind import and export fees, etc. if you are buying from outside of the UK, CITES restrictions, all of that fun as well. If you're new to the channel, we're just going to go through this catalogue, pick out a few things which look interesting, see if there's anything that we can learn, and we'll just try and blitz through it as quickly as possible. If you do enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing, like, comment, turn on notifications, all of that fun stuff, because it does help. Any questions or comments, please go for it and I will try and answer it the best that I can. Right, so without further ado, I think there's about 200 or so lots in this auction, and bidding just opened this morning, so let's see what's going on here. Got a load of books here. We're not going to go too much into this unless there's some really interesting books, but I mean there are interesting books, but it's the standard kind of stuff that we see quite often. Now I believe this auction has quite a few things from David Hill, formerly of the kind of Hill and Sons kind of shop, and a member of the Hill family, so there's a few interesting things in this auction. A few interesting portraits there. Portrait of Robert Lindley there. Portrait of William Henry Hill, so that's kind of curious. Looking for 5,500 for that, that's curious. Royal Warrant of Appointment, London 1901. Another one there. Queen of the Belgians, Brussels. Royal Warrant from the Queen of the Netherlands. So that's interesting. Let's have a just quick look at these. So, the issue to Arthur and Alfred Hill. So, some old Hill family warrants there. So, those are quite interesting. I'm sure they might do quite popular. Watercolour of Joseph Hill's shop there. Watercolour of Monzani and Hill shop. Okay, that's interesting. Watercolour sketch of Stradivari Button by Shirley Slocum, who I think did a lot of paintings actually for the Hill family. Lots of really detailed paintings. Etching for W.E. Hill and Sons. Photograph of W.E. Hill. Photograph of a portrait, interesting. Photograph of the Hill shop in New Bond Street, mid-20th century. So let's move on to the next page. Some photographs there of Walter E. Hill. Albert Phillips Hill there, with the messy Stradivari. 3 photographs of Albert Philip Hills. Some prints there for a few instruments, so I think this stuff will do quite well. Postcard to Arthur Hill with a musical manuscript, Bassiano, 1912. Card from Henry Wood to Mr. Hill, interesting. Letter from Edward Elgar to Arthur Hill, that'll do well. Yeah, 26 bids already, £500. Some curious stuff that weren't necessarily expecting to see. We're not even on the instruments yet. 2 labels of Monzani and Hill, those will be popular. 4 copies of Hill labels, okay, interesting. A Eugene Issei medal, okay. Alfred Hill's VMDA member certificate. Violinist pocket guide. 2 violin scrolls and a viola scroll, 20th century ex David Hill. 3 cello scrolls there. A Violin in the White by W.E. Hill and Sons, possibly 1956. That's already got £900 on that. That's quite interesting. 4 viola da gamba scrolls and a double bass scroll. Okay, interesting things there. 2 pieces of flamed maple. 18 Bridges, probably by W. Hill, late 19th century. Okay. 3 Iron Nails from a Violin neck, probably by Antonio Stradivari, ex David Hill. Okay. No bids on that so far. Opening bid 90. It's a bit of a vague one, isn't it? Set of 4 boxwood pegs, 4 rosettes, ebony fingerboard. It's quite a random collection of stuff. Inlaid cello tailpiece there. Interesting. 7 volumes from the Hill records. Wow, I bet that'll do quite well. What's a hammer book there? It's the kind of the Hill, Strad and Guarneri books there. A few copies. Interesting start to this auction. A few other things here. A few books, Violin, etc. So it's quite curious. And that looks like the last bit of the David Hill stuff. So let's kind of click through the auction and see what's going on here. Violin by George William Hudson, London, circa 1930. 4 to 6 the estimate there. A bit more information down the bottom, but maybe we can just skip a lot of that for now. Violin by Amedeo Simonazzi, Reggio Emilia, 1926, 6 to 8. Quite nice looking violin there, 6 to 8 on that, 36.1 centimeters on that. Violin by Sebastian Dallinger, Vienna, 1798. I'm not sure what happened there on the pop-up. Column is that. Let's just go past that for now. Violin by Leopold Wilhelm, Nuremberg, 1745. Nice looking violin, 4 to 6 on that. Violin by Richard Duke. I think some of this stuff we're just going to skip through. Violin by Giuseppe Pedrozzini, 25 to 35 on that. The respected modern makers. Violin, Italy, circa 1800, 3.5 to 5. Already one bid on that. This zoom function, it's not really actually that great, to be honest, but interesting looking violin. I think these pictures are actually nicer. Yeah, it's quite a nice looking violin. Blanchard, we can go past that. Violin by Carl Becker, Chicago, 1926, 18 to 25,000 on that. Pressing the wrong button there. Once again, nice looking instrument. Violin by Francois Louis Pic, Paris, 1808. So Amati have one, and I can't remember if Brompton's had a Pic as well. I think the Amati one looks a little bit nice in that one. Got a 19th century violin there. Violin Naples, circa 1780, 10 to 15 on that. Quite cool looking instrument there. Does seem like the layout of Ingles and Hayday has changed a bit from what I remember. Violin by Vincenzo Cennino, 50 to 70 on that, so it's a high tier instrument. Ingles and Hayday auction usually is pretty good. I think we're going to be a little bit kind of strict with this. We're not going to look at everything. So this is an interesting violin that I'm pretty sure was for sale in one of the Amati auctions, at least at some point last year. Violin Circle of Gennaro Galliano, Naples, circa 1750, 40 to 60 on that. Pretty sure I've seen that one before. Violin by Benjamin Banks, Salisbury, 1781. I think Amati have a Banks as well. Violin by Matteo Goffrilla, Venice, circa 1700. Scroll down to see some more information there, but maybe it's good just to stick to the pictures for now. That's a really great back on that. Violin ascribed to Giuseppe Rossi, 20th century. 4 to 6 on that. Violin, probably Dutch, circa 1800. 8 to 12. If anyone likes a good speculative item. Violin, North Italy, mid-18th century. Ex Amalie Molnar. 100 to 150,000. That is a lot for like an unattributed instrument, I have to say. It's been in the possession of the same family for 150 years. Interesting. Yeah, curious. 35.3 length back on that. Violin France, that's actually nice looking back on that. 5 to 7, be interesting to see that in person. Violin Amati School, Italy, 17th century, 8 to 12. 34.2, that's very small. Violin by Nicola Amati Cremona, 1665, ex Hepton, 150 to 200,000 there. It's a fairly serious item there. It's a lot of provenance that we're not going to go into. Some bows here that will probably be quite brutal about. A nice golden tortoiseshell mounted violin bow by Albert Nürnberger there. 3 to 5. Silver mounted picture violin bow by Albert Nürnberger. Okay. Seeing like a lot of Nürnberger bows around these days. Yeah, another one here with the picture lens in the frog. Wow, okay. Silver and ivory mounted violin bow by Albert Nürnberger. So we're in some kind of Nürnberger thing. Some bizarre. Got a Thomasar here. 5 to 8. Vora. Here's a Sartre, silver mounted violin bow by Eugene Sartre, Paris, circa 1920. 18 to 25 on that, 60 grams, which is pretty spot on. It's got the Cabinet Art Chetier certificate there. Another Sartre there, 12 to 16. Looks like it needs a bit of TLC. Vigneron there. Gold mounted violin bow by Jules Fetic, 5 to 7 on that. Silver mounted violin bow by Francois Lot, 1200 to 1800. Quite a nice head on that. So good selection of French bows. Right, on to cello. Cello England, circa 1800 or 1820. Looks a bit like a Kennedy type thing. Okay. Cello by Stefan von Baer, Paris, 15 to 20,000 there, 1999. Decro cello by Gandon Bernardel Frère, Paris, 1867, 40 to 60. Miracle cello there. Cello by Bernard Simon Fent I, London, circa 1810, 40 to 60 on that. Beautiful kind of wood on the back of that. Very nice. A cello by Evasio Emilio Guerra, Turin, 1949. Cello probably by Simpert Nigel, Bavaria, circa 1770, 4 to 6 on that, in Baroque setup. Cello probably Vienna, early 19th century. Right, a cello probably by Francesco Ruggieri Cremona, circa 1685 to 90, 60 to 80,000. It's actually fairly reasonable estimate, I guess, depending on the condition. Cello Vienna. Okay, let's just skip through. Cello by Giovanni Guancino, Milan, circa 1700. 90 to 120,000 on that. Cello by Raphael and Antonio Galliano, Naples, circa 1860. 100 to 150,000 on that one, so we're going up a bit. End of the cellos there and onto the bows. Let's see what else we got here. Some hill bows there. Michael J. Taylor. Garner Wilson bow there. All ex Dorothy Fellows stuff. Silver mounted cello bow by Richard Gronka. Bourbon Ruth. Another ex Dorothy Fellows. Rudolph Neudorfer. Right, silver and tortoiseshell mounted bow by Arthur Richard Bultitude. 1500 to 2.5 there. Nice looking bow. Another Bultitude there. And another. So another Grunker as well. So a lot of ex-Dorothy Fellows bows there. Silver mounted cello bow by Emile Auguste Houchard there. 1945. That's a nice bow. And a Guillet there. Bazar. Thomasat. Right, nickel mounted half size cello bow by Eugene Sartre. It's interesting, 2.5 to 3.5. Curious, I think that's the first time I've ever seen a child size bow by Sartre. JTL there. Nice Frechner bow there. Silver and tortoiseshell mounted violin bow, Hill School, London, circa 1930. 1500 to 2000. Golden ivory mounted violin bow, probably by James Dodd, 1840. 1500 to 2000. Hill bow there. Onto some violin bows again. Silver mounted violin bow by William Tubbs, 6 to 8. Ivory mounted violin bow, probably England, circa 1760. It's quite a nice looking bow actually, that one. Already 1700 on that. Silver mounted violin bow by Nicolas Maire, Paris, circa 1840, 30 to 40,000 on that. It's a silver mounted violin bow by Jean-Dominique Adam, Miracle, 1830-35, 20 to 30,000 on that. Mother of Pearl and silver mounted violin bow by Nicolas Simon Frère, Miracle, circa 1860. That is quite something, 15 to 20,000 there. It's a very interesting looking bow. Silver mounted violin bow by Dominique Pacat, Miracle, circa 1865, 8 to 12. Nickel mounted violin bow by Emile François Houchard, Miracle, circa 1930. Okay, 3. Silver mounted violin bow for J.B. Viome, circle of Pierre Simon, circa 1860. I feel like a Marty have one of these, and Bromptons have one of these as well. So there's a few Viome bows probably made by Pierre Simon out there. Another bow for J.B. Viome. Silver mounted violin bow by Nicolas Malines, Paris, circa 1855. Another Viome school bow there. Gold mounted violin bow by Herbert Wanker, Beiersdorf, 2006. Everyone's favourite maker. Okay, some of the Frechner bows there. Always nice. Some Knopf bows there. Right, Violas, decorated viola by Caressa and Francais. Viola by Fernandino Ferroni, Florence, 1936. 15 to 20 on that. Viola, probably by Anton Posch in Vienna, circa 1730. Nice looking instrument. Viola by Gaetano Scarabotto, Parma, circa 1945. Beautiful wood on the back there. Viola by Giovanni Francesco Presenda, Turin, circa 1827 to 845 to 60, which seems like incredibly low estimate for a Presenda, to be honest. 38.1 is fairly small, but nice looking instrument. Viola by Carlo de March, Venice, 1954. Viola by Gaetano Dionelli, Mantua, circa 1860. That is a curious looking instrument there, 15 to 20 on that. Viola by Lorenzo Storioni, Cremona, 1788. 140 to 180,000 there. Beautiful looking instrument there. Gotta love a nice bit of Storioni there. Okay, we've got a viola bow that the image seems to have disappeared for some reason. Oh, are we losing all of the viola bows? That's kind of strange. I've got a Hill viola bow there. Silver mounted viola bow there. Nürnberger there. Francois Lot. Quite a lot of Nürnberger stuff going on. Knopf bow there. Merlin, we're not getting into this too much. We'll just do really briefly look over what's going on here. Violin viola bow by Jean-Dominique Adam Mirko, circa 1835. So I'm presuming that it's got some interesting weight, about 65 grams or something like that. Oh, 62. That's interesting that they're saying violin viola. So, curious. Nicomate violin bow by Georges-Émile Bargenet. Just have a quick look at that. We must be on to the other violins soon, I'm sure. So lots of opportunity, actually a lot of really quite reasonably estimated bows in this auction. Silver mounted violin bow by Jean-Claude Houchard, Mirko, circa 1985. Gold mounted violin bow, Bio of Viome School, Paris, circa 1870. Right, a violin after Stradivari by Antonio Capella. 5 to 8 on that. Violin France, mid 18th century. Curious looking thing. Violin after Del Gesù by Antonio Capella. Keep on pressing the wrong button there. Violin by Sesto Rocci. I think this has been up for auction a few times before. Could be wrong. Violin by Leandro Biziak, Milan, circa 1920, 35 to 50. Beautiful kind of back on that. I really do like the Biziak stuff. I think it's great. William Luff there. Paul Blanchard. Violin 19th century, just go through. Violin Italy, 19th century, 14 to 18,000 on that. Violin by Antonio Guadagnini, Turin, circa 1865 to 70, 35 to 60 on that. Violin by Benjamin Banks, Salisbury, 7070, so another Banks violin. Violin Ventapane School, Naples, mid-19th century. Interesting F-hole positioning there. Composite violin ascribed to Antonio Gragnani, 18th century, 6 to 8 on that. Violin by Gennaro Vernaccia, Naples, circa 1770. Violin by Gaetano Guadagnini II, Turin, circa 1845. Nice looking violin. Violin by Georges Adolphe Chanot, Manchester, 1890. Violin attributed to Giacomo Zanoli, mid-18th century. Another curious looking one. Violin by Camillo Camilli, Manchester 1739. Ex Emile Mendel's, 100 to 150,000 on that, so we're getting into the top tier stuff there. Violin by Aldo Galimberti there, 5 to 8. Violin ascribed to Giovanni Tononi, Italy, 18th century, 8 to 12. Kind of weird things going on with the F holes on that. Violin Circle of Stefano Scarampella, probably Mantua, early 20th century, 20 to 30 on that. Violin by Gennaro Galliano, Naples, circa 1760, 120 to 180 on that one. And a violin by Tommaso Balistieri, Mantua, circa 1792, 200 to 300,000 on that, and this is their top lot in this auction. Nice looking violin, actually really beautiful back on this instrument, so very nice indeed. So yeah, there you have it. I'm pretty sure that is it. Yeah, that is the Ingles and Hayday catalogue for March 2025. Yeah, some really interesting stuff going on here. I feel like all of the catalogues from all the auction houses are really strong at the moment, whereas in the past I felt that kind of Ingles and Hayday always had a bit of an edge over the others. I'm really starting to see that things are starting to be a bit more level now, and there's a really good spread of items. I think there's some great bows in this catalogue as well, if you were interested in acquiring some bows, and the Hill X David Hill stuff is quite curious as well. So definitely an auction worth checking out. So link in description as always. Check it out, see what you think. Thanks a lot for watching, really appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.